Hi world, this is my video from the coming full moon in Gemini, which is going to be taking place on the 15th of December at 1 minute past 9 in the morning, UK time. It's fascinating for a number of different reasons. Firstly, it's precisely half an hour out, 29 and a half days since the last full moon. The last full moon was at 9:30 in the evening on the 29th, on the 15th of November. And now it's 9 o'clock in the morning on the 15th of December. That's 29 and a half days. And the full moon and new moon cycle is 29 and a half days. That tells me that the planet's clockwork is working and it's all in tune. Great. Now, this full moon, sun opposite moon, it's particularly going to impact those born around the 14th, 15th, 16th of both June and December, but that's to be expected. And it's full moon, so it's a period of endings. But there's a number of other things going on as well. So let's deal with the neutral first of all, in that this full moon isn't impacting Chiron or Uranus or Pluto. These are bit players in the big picture. The difficult news here is that Jupiter, still retrograde, is getting closer and closer in terms of squaring Saturn. Now, this is an ongoing dance. They've been squaring each other since August, September, and this will continue until June of next year. And it is a period of economic, business, and financial readjustment, reconfiguration, and reassessment worldwide. Economies all around the world are adjusting to the new way of thinking, and there's lots of changes going on. I hear just in the last 24 hours of 2 or 3 people in the last 24 hours have talked to me about the impending demise of Bitcoin with this new Willow quantum chip that's coming out. I thought, yeah, okay, latest in a long line of new developments on this area. But let's get back to the astrology because that's what the main indicators are. With Jupiter square Saturn, we're still in a period of financial, business, and economic reassessment, reconfiguration, and we're not going to get clarity on the way that economies are going to settle down until the middle of next year. I'm already building the forecasts for next year, and it does show to me that there's going to be 1 or 2 periods of quite considerable short-term instability, notably late March next year, but I'll come back to that another time. The neutral side of this full moon is that the sun and moon are both squaring Neptune. Not strongly, it's 3 or 4 degrees apart. So I'm not too bothered by this, but it does suggest that there's going to be a way of, I don't know, the imaginal, the dream, the vision, the idea, and the changing of dreams, visions, and ideas into blueprints, schedules, and plans. And perhaps this is also backed up by the fact that on the day of a full moon, Mercury stops going retrograde. Yay! We've had this Mercury retrograde. It's not been difficult for individuals, although standard rules about, emails, letters, travel plans all over the place. That's normal for a Mercury retrograde. But Mercury will stop going retrograde on the evening, UK time, of the 15th. The full moon is in the morning. So the second half of December should find more clarity. But there's good news for this full moon, and that is the movements of Mercury with Venus and Mars. Mars has just gone retrograde, and Mars is now at about 5 or 6 degrees of Leo. Mercury is standing still at about 6 degrees of Sagittarius. So there's an ongoing Mercury-Mars trine. This is lovely. It suggests that for the few days before the full moon, around the full moon, and for the period of maybe the week after the full moon, that anybody who's actually putting a lot of both physical and communicative energy into what they're doing and is dealing with things in a straightforward and simplistic way will get results. which is great because I'm shooting a lot of stuff for my documentary at this time. And I pride myself on my simplicity. But this isn't all. Mercury is also sextile Venus, and Venus is coming into opposition to Mars. So Venus opposite Mars, yes, it's common in the charts of people who aren't necessarily 100% heterosexual, but it also gives a strong physical and intimacy drive, regardless of the nature of the relationship. So I suggest that with this full moon, with both the Sun and the Moon squaring Neptune and with Venus opposite Mars, it's a time where, at the individual level, there's likely to be quite a few interesting encounters at the personal level. I could be a bit more specific and say it wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of babies being born in 8 or 9 months' time, because it does seem a very fertile time. Full moon is normally a time of endings, but this full moon isn't a difficult one. So it could be the time of new beginnings as well, although the new moon in Capricorn in 2 weeks' time is also looking pretty good, although that's at the very end of the month. We'll deal with that one another time. I like this full moon. It's a lot of fire energy out there. Not only have you got the Sun and Mercury in Sagittarius, we've also got Mars in Leo, and we've also got the added promise of what's to come with Saturn and Neptune going to be moving into Aries in a few months' time. That's going to be really interesting. But this full moon is a time, dare I say it, for us individually to go out there and have a bit of fun. Go and watch a good movie. Go to a theatre production. Go and do something that's creative, artistic, innovative, and that stimulates the mind as much as the senses. Because the full moon's in Gemini, and it's all very well to sit going, oh, it's full moon, let's stay in. No, full moon in Gemini is going, no, I crave intellectual and mental stimulus. At the very least, go and find a range of mountains and go out there and howl at the moon. Go into the forest, go into the fields. Go and get some mental or intellectual stimulus. And if you can't howl, then go somewhere where you can applaud or sing along. This is a full moon for expressing one's feelings, not only in an emotional way, but in an intellectual way as well. And the more you get in touch with your body and your feelings and your mind at this time, the more integrated you're going to be. If you take responsibility for yourself at this full moon, you can have a great time. It's only the naysayers and the doom bringers who are going to let themselves get worn down by it. This is one of the better full moons of the year. So go and have some fun. Catch you later, world. Enjoy. Have a good howl. Bye now.